Hey guys, welcome to episode 18. No, it's not. I've 18.5 written down. And we're back.
You had one job.
Literally. I wrote down 18.5. It's like, no, it's not. Hey guys, welcome to Between Two Couches. This is episode 15. Today we want to talk about the Leinster Open Championships that happened here at the weekend. So CFI Weightlifting Club hosted the Leinster Open. Sean, talk to us.
We did indeed, yes. So there was 95 entries for Leinsters this year, which is one of the highest entries for a weightlifting Ireland competition in the last probably 2 or 3 years.
Nice.
And of the 95, we had about 88 compete over the course of 2 days. We ran it on both days, starting on Sunday. And I'd say we must have had about 300 plus people between athletes, coaches, volunteers, parents, spectators, in and out of the gym over the course of the weekend. So the place was absolutely buzzing. Fantastic event. Everyone enjoyed it. All positive feedback. Everyone lifted well. Just all around great weekend.
Excellent. Colin, any general comments on the Leinsters?
General comments?
General comments.
That haven't been covered by Charlie. I think the buzz, like it's nice that we get our classes done, so the core of the members don't feel like we're shutting the gym down for something that they may or may not have a part of. But speaking of that, like what impressed me more than the athletes, and don't get me wrong, the athletes impressed me, particularly our guys, because a lot of them was first comp, is how many of the members of Team CFI showed up and took time out of their Saturday or Sunday or both days just to show up and be there for them. On a personal note, I lifted and people were there to see how I'd recovered from shoulder surgery a year ago. They were there not just to see, like Judy stuck around, not just to see her daughter lift, but to see everyone else lift and encourage them and all that. Mary took videos of everyone. I know she was lifting as well, but you had so many people: Michelle, Joyce, Steph. Oh God, I'm gonna forget Noreen. Laura. Like we're gonna forget names. Aga, Edwin, they stuck around for most of their Sundays. So
Ron Cabinet was here.
Yeah.
Ash was here. Orla.
Yeah, we're gonna forget someone, and we do apologise. But like, so many people showed up just to support them, and then right at the end of the day, there was such a help with cleanup. It meant that we weren't here till like 11 o'clock on Sunday night, which was really cool that there was that level of pride in the facility. I understand they pay a membership and they're part of it, but they were so proud to be part of it. And I'll give special shout outs to people outside the gym. Prodigy Barbell pretty much cleared away all the weights at the end, so hats off to Sammy and Sean and Adam and the lads there. And I saw Cy Kirkland, he was one of the last guys to lift, and he looked around and was like 7 or 8 water bottles and coffee cups and all that, and he just started cleaning it up. He could have totally left that, and I said it to him. I said, "That's appreciated." He goes, "No," he goes, "Gotta put the place better than when you left it." So, yeah, they were. To me, that was the highlights of the weekend.
Yeah. There's
Cool. So I was just going to say, the community aspect of it, from CrossFit Ireland's perspective, was fantastic, and that was a reason why it was such a successful event, and it ran so well, and everyone really enjoyed it because the whole crew came together, and like that, people that weren't necessarily asked to help out just offered their time to help us in any way they could, get us coffees, whatever, clean up after, whatever needed to be done. So it's greatly appreciated. So thank you to everyone who was here to help, either members of CFI or members of the weightlifting community who helped out in some way before or after during the competition.
Cool, thank you. So, like it was a big competition. Like I was here for a lot of the days. Like I wasn't coaching, you were emceeing. I got to see it from kind of front of house, I guess, from the spectator seats for a lot of it. Like I was running around as well. It seemed like a really well-run competition. You've run a whole bunch of comps before. You've been on, say, back of house, I guess, like in the competitions. Are you happy with how it ran? Happy with how the whole thing went in general from a competition point of view?
Yes, I mean, I've ran competitions in America before. It's my first time hosting one here. It's probably my 3rd or 4th competition in Ireland in relation to working with weights in Ireland. But it's the biggest one I've ever hosted, and 90 plus, so I was really pleased with how it went.
Yeah.
Timekeeping was pretty much on point for most of it. Teaching our loaders that were helping out was the thing that kind of kept everything on track. I should give a shout out to Maddie, who basically loaded for most of the weekend for me, and without her and Ruth and Edward and Dave Kane and Donald, all our loaders throughout the weekend, like the loaders keep the show on the road.
Yeah.
Because I can announce a weight and I can keep that moving, but if the loaders don't get the weight on the bar,
it doesn't magically appear.
It doesn't go. The competition doesn't go anywhere. So that, and from our perspective, that was our first time ever to do it. I had to show them how to test, how to do all the collars and what weights had to be inside the collars and the small change plates and all that. But I mean, looking back at the weekend, the whole organisation of it, the layout of the gym was great. We had the dividers, the warm up. There was plenty of warm up platforms like that. Everyone. Wasn't a bad word said about any of it, so from that perspective, I'm happy.
And the place is absolutely buzzing as well. Just hopping with people.
Yeah, absolutely. And the weather was great.
The weather kind of
so, I mean, there was no complaints at all. So
that was cool. A lot of experienced weightlifters, you know, who've been to international competitions as well. Claire McGlynn was just like, you know, I love lifting here. It's so bright and airy. Ethan McNeil was also like, yeah, it's just a really great setup, really fresh. Harry Leach was like, yeah, he loves it, like, it's nice, bright platforms. Stephen Wyman from PTI said, yeah, the place looks great, it looks better. He would have been here 2 years ago at the last time he hosted Leinster, said it looks even better again. And small things like that. So you're getting this. Raheny as well, they were very happy with us, like, as
Stephen
hosts.
Hyland and those.
I'm sure Michael from Cork as well.
Yeah,
you know.
Michael Leary, yeah.
You know, everyone, and even the judges. We'd Mr. Fleming, James from Centre Judge, is like, yeah, the place looks great and it's well organised and stuff like that. So that's cool that you can put on an event like that, scramble a little bit because, you know, there's some lessons to learn, as there always is, and still present that front to people who getting their first taste of CFI.
Yeah, good.
It was great.
Excellent. So we had a whole bunch of lifters from CFI Weightlifting, lifting for the first time.
Yeah, we had like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
We basically half the club
Was lifting.
lifted, and I mean 90% of them were first time lifters.
Do you want to take the gents or the ladies, and I'll take the other one, and we'll talk through there.
I'll talk about the gents. So we had some masters. We had Robbie. We had Dinkelnuts here, Colin, and then we had John Kavanagh, Ian Carey, Dave Kane, Cronin. That's 6.
Sam.
And Samuel, our boy Sam, who's not here today. Shout out to Sam. So we had 7 lifters, and of the 7, 5 were first timers. Colin and Sam had lifted before.
Yeah.
And the rest were all first timers. The first competition, everyone had a fantastic experience. Totaled, hit 90% plus on their lifts. Really enjoyed it. Sam PB'd his snatch 125.
Yeah.
Colin made some comeback PBs after his shoulder surgery, in the snatch and the clean and jerk. He put some lifters on finally for his clean and jerk. And
Not the snatch though.
not the snatch though.
Heroes lifting Metcons, guys.
And yeah, the boys really enjoyed it, and a lot of them helped as well, set up things and tidy up and all that. So yeah, they did really well. I was very proud of all their performances, and to say they were members of CFI.
So on the ladies' side, I had a lot of fun. I was platform coaching them, which is just really nerve control.
Yeah.
So we had a remote athletes, Lisa and Leanne, who were very good. Lisa I've had the pleasure of working with in Budapest, you know, and I put the threat on her, said, you've never missed a lift for me as well. So she went 6 from 6 in Budapest.
No pressure.
6 from 6 here as well, you know, and just reminded her to smile. And people thought I was joking, but when you're smiling, you're relaxed, and if your muscles relax, when the time comes to fire, they'll fire better. If you're walking around tense, you're going to create interference patterns in your movement. So the more you can be relaxed, the better your muscles can fire when you need them to. So a lot with the sort of ladies and the gents picking them off was just like, pick your spot in the back wall, because you're not used to lifting with like what it feels like someone's right there in your face.
Okay.
It feels like that. There's enough distance, but it feels like that. And then just give them one real simple cue. So with a lot of fun, Steph and Phil, they lifted. They both PR'd their snatches in the warm-up, you know. So shout out to the messers, Steph and Phil.
Yeah.
And then just kept naming them, and you could tell. I'll talk a little bit about Phil. She she was very nervous, and she was then sort of getting distracted by some other girl who wanted a training bar, and nearly grabbed her as she went out for the platform. I had to physically restrain her, and then went out and she hit the lift, and I said, don't worry about what's on the bar, just focus on what you need to do, which is good advice, but we all get bogged down on numbers. Got her onto the clean and jerk. She was a little worried because Shawnee here now went over and put the fear of God into her, you know.
I just told her to get her shit together.
Yeah, I know.
Because she was flapping.
Okay, it's family trait, I guess, then, is it?
Sean didn't actually use the microphone all week.
I know, it's his voice just that loud. So she was really great, and I just, like, she's played golf, so I said, Phil, this is the 18th, and you've got to finish with a big strong drive in the clean. Got them that. So Phil and Steph were both delighted as well. And then I had Georgia, Mary, and Hoda all lifting together as the three ladies, and they were really well. And they were on different weights, so it's always a struggle when you're looking at one girl on the platform and the other girl warming up in the back room, and timing that. And then just teaching them how to stay at that optimal level of arousal, which made them giggle. But just basically do a few jumps so you're not burning out your muscles, but you're keeping your central nervous system as where it needs to be. They were all great. Gave them all one cue. I think Mary was 5 from 6 and Georgia was 5 from 6, and I think Hoda was 6 from 6. So for those who don't know, you've 3 attempts at the snatch, 3 at the clean and jerk, and to go 6 from 6 is to make every single one of your lifts. 5 from 6 means you've won. Yes, I think Mary just had a press out on one of her lifts, but then bounced back and got it, which showed great strength of character. Georgia had a mild press out, I think, on her last lift. She was a bit disappointed with that, but you know, you give her a few minutes to grieve, and then on reflection she was like delighted and very happy, and she equipped herself very well because she had a few misses in the warm-up as well, and didn't let that phase her, which is good from her strength of character. And then she posted afterwards saying she couldn't overhead squat an empty bar a year ago, and now she snatched like 38 in competition, which was great. Hoda was very funny. It's funny how the nerves display themselves with people. She was like, what about my belt? It's new and it's a rigid Alico one. I said, okay, we'll deal with that. She went out, hit her first snatch really good. I said, same again. And she goes, Colin, I can honestly not hear a word anyone's saying. My head is buzzing right now. I said, okay, we'll keep doing what you're doing. She obviously, some part of her brain heard me because she followed her cues really well. She was clean and jerking really well as well. I said, just don't worry about the belt, just go out there. And I didn't tell her what weight was on the bar either, you know, and she got it, you know, and once she could clean it, she's a good jerk. So it was great experience that from the athlete's point of view, or from a coach's point of view, that Sean's with them day in, day out in the weightlifting club. I'm only coaching the weightlifting club every now and again when Sean's not here, and that they could step out from that and then trust me as the game day coach. It was a real fun experience, actually. You know?
There's a few people I've thought about there that we haven't mentioned. There's Fiona, there's also Mark Rowan, and there's also my father, Colin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was judging that one. That's why
he lifted as well for his first time. So they now have aspirations. My parents to go to European Masters next year.
Oh, rightly so.
And, they're going to see if they can get into weightlifting a bit more.
Yeah, they were very good. Mark was good because he knew he could hit higher numbers, but he trusted me based off his speed and his sort of stability at the bottom of the catch to know. I mean, it's one thing hitting a PR snatch in training. Everything's feeling good. You get to walk up to the bar whenever you want. It's another thing where you have to time it, and you might have hit your last minute lift 8 minutes ago, and now you've got to go up to the bar, and it's 30 seconds, and you think you're going to the bar, and then it's another lifter, it's another thing. So he trusted me on that because he really wanted, like, he was quite fixated on a higher total. And I said, trust me, we'll get you there. You know, but named the lift up to him and got him within 4 kilos in that in the snatch. Fee was wonderful as well. She had a few bit of nerves in the warm-up. Like, nerves affect you so much, you just can't control your body in the same way. It's just pity. So we changed some things around as well. And, you know, she posted up on Instagram afterwards, literally never been happier. So to have that sort of confidence, because when she started getting into CrossFit and started this, she was unfortunately told, you'll never be able to snatch, you'll never be able to do it, it's not for you. I'm sure the coaches were well-meaning at that point, but we never want to deny someone the opportunity to chase their goal. We just need to tell them the amount of work that's put in, and she did. She spent a lot of time on her mobility and her technique to get to that stage where we felt confident enough to let her into competition. So hopefully we haven't forgotten anyone, guys.
No, I think we mentioned everyone there now.
We're in the post-competition
When
dip.
you try and list, like, there's always that term.
Robert Keating. He's
Robbie, yes,
talking
Robbie.
about Robbie as well. He's a new member. That was his first competition as well.
Yeah.
He was delighted. Robbie was worried before the competition. He wanted to clean jerk 90 kilos, and he hasn't been near it in, he said, about 4 months. He's put 90 at the bar, and his brain shuts off, and he's been petrified of it. And he cleaned 95. He clean jerked 90, cleaned 95, just missed a jerk. So Robbie was buzzing. He went 5 out of 6.
Robbie did awesome. I remember like was chatting to him beforehand, like a bit nervous, but went out on the platform then, like just.
Yeah, he went 5 for
solid.
6. Got that 90
Yeah.
clean jerk, clean 90, missed a jerk, but he was buzzing because of it. So I think that's everyone. Now,
If we have missed anyone,
yeah, if
I'm
we've forgotten
sorry.
anyone, sorry, but I don't think.
That's
I
the
think,
trouble when you start listing out names.
I don't think we have. I think we've got everyone there now.
Colin, actually, you mentioned coaching cues. The funniest cue I heard all weekend, Dave Kane, I don't think you'll mind us saying this, Dave Kane was out lifting, it was his clean and jerk, and your coaching cue was?
I think we need a little backstory before my
yeah.
coaching cue, because it makes me look like more of an asshole than I already
But
am.
that's what we sell.
That's what we sell. Dave Kane, he felt he pressed out his jerk, so he goes, "Oh no!" Quite audibly, I mean, the room is silent while you're lifting. Quite audibly goes, "Oh no!" Stands up and gets 3 white lights, and he's like, "I was convinced I pressed out," you know. It's wait till the other time where he's convinced he wasn't pressed out and he gets red lights further on in his career, which will inevitably happen to all weightlifters, right? And then we did it. We said, like, "Dave, just poker face, man, poker face." And he goes out and he hits a much better clean. So either the nerves had sort of focused him up, or he's gotten over his initial jitters, and punches the bar overhead. And I'm just like, "Feet together and shut up." And what's great is the crowd laughed and he got his 3 white lights, and he went 6 from 6, you know.
So that was funny as a cue to hear, because I was asked to judge for that group actually, so it was funny to hear. You mentioned earlier on the amount of support that we had in here from people like helping us set up and people here on the day. It wasn't just that people were here on the day; they were properly supporting. There was a real what's the term, like home ground advantage almost, like any of our lifters came out, any CFI lifters came out on stage,
Massive
like the
cheers,
amount of a cheer that they got was something else. So it wasn't just that people were just putting in time here, they were properly supporting, which was fantastic to see.
Absolutely, yeah.
And everybody else as well, like it wasn't just that like we were cheering on our people, but everybody got huge support, like it was good to see it.
Yeah, totally. And Michelle even mentioned that she's been to a lot of weightlifting competitions as well, and she said just the atmosphere was so supportive. You know, it didn't matter who was lifting, the sort of understanding that this is a big deal for someone to be on the platform, whether it is a training bar or it's a new national record. Everyone understands the nerves, the effort, and the crazy thing about weightlifting is so many months of prep, of sleep, of food prep, worrying about weighing in, your mobility, snatch sessions, missing back squats, missing jerks, you know, feeling tired, calluses. It comes down to literally a couple of seconds on the platform, and you know the weightlifting gods could be smiling at you, and everyone understood that and rooted for it. So there's a lot of, you know, positive vibes in the air, man.
You get 6 lifts to show that you put in a shit ton of work, basically.
Yeah. It's not that easy. Yeah.
And the fact that people actually stepped up on the platform itself, like regardless of the numbers that they put overhead, stepping up in front of, like, there was like 60 people in here looking at them, and the 3 judges that are right in your face, like that takes a lot.
Courage,
Takes a lot.
It's
So
not the critic count, it's it's the person in the arena, isn't that what they say?
I don't know. Did they say that?
I guess so.
They say that.
I'll find the Teddy Roosevelt quote for y'all.
Okay. So that was the competition day itself. In terms of following on from that and training afterwards, like post-competition slump, post-competition blues, is that a thing? Did we see it? John?
Yeah, so obviously when you're competition day, your adrenaline is buzzing. I prepped all our lifters and I told them, I said, the way the bar is going to feel when you're out there, it's going to feel 10 kilos lighter. You're going to throw it over your head like it's nothing. Again, we use Dave Kane as the example. Dave basically muscle snatched his first opener, and it was like 85% plus of his max lift. And he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "But he flew off the floor." So that's the kind of adrenaline you have in the day. But obviously you can't stay in that high forever, and you just crash. So Tuesday night we had our first session back, and everyone is wrecked. So that's to expect. Is similar kind of stimulus as doing like a max deadlift. Central nervous system is fried. It can take 14 to 21 days to kind of get your life back in order, and be able to feel okay. From our perspective, like you were lifting, so you got like triple dump. You were lifting and you were coaching and you were helping out. So I can't imagine how exhausted you are.
I was buzzing because I didn't really sleep Monday. Came in Monday morning, trained, and then
You just hit the wall.
I can't remember anything up until this point. You know?
The wall hit him. Right?
So
Yeah.
we've got a deload week now this week. Our lifters are just doing 70% and less, just moving. I'm not really concerned about what weight they're lifting, just get them in moving around.
And what's next?
Next we're prepping then, so we're hosting the Women's Open here again. So it'll be at the end of August, the 25th and 6th of August, depending on entries. It'll be 2 there one day. It's the first time. We're bringing back the Women's Open this year. It hasn't ran for the last 4 years, so we're bringing it back. We're hosting it here. That's in 6 weeks. 6 weeks out. So our cycle starts next week. 6 weeks out for the women's, and the cycle also starts next week. 10 weeks out for club champs. So there are our next 2 comps we're prepping for.
That's it.
So again, if anyone wants to join our team remotely, we're starting our cycle, and our prep starts next week, the 16th of July. So drop us an email, let us know if you want to join the team, and get in shape for those competitions. And we're going to be hosting them here, so it'll be on home turf if the Women's Open might be your first competition, for example. So that will be in your benefit because we'll be able to look after you as well.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, but make sure if any lifters watching this that we're lifting, make sure you eat a lot, sleep a lot, just chill this week. Don't worry about your training that much, just move a little bit. Next week you'll be feeling better. You'll be
Expect to feel tired, basically.
expect to feel wrecked, yeah. If you compete at the weekend, or even if you were here helping out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot of
Long days moving around.
long
Takes
days,
a
and a
lot
lot of people, a lot of FaceTime, you know.
Yeah.
So it takes it out of you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool. So all in all, good competition. Happy with it.
Yeah, there's
Lessons
obviously
learned,
areas we can improve on, but all in all, it was great. I mean, I think it's going to be Leinster champs that's going to be remembered for quite a while, and I reckon we'll be asked to do it again next year, lads. So we'll have to get ourselves prepped for that.
Absolutely. We'll have our deload for it.
Yeah.
Colin, you anything to add? Are you all happy?
If you're listening to this before Saturday and you're a member of CFI, we're going to host a little barbecue on Saturday after weightlifting. Shawnee's going to fire up the grill. We've some beers in the fridge. Derek is keen for us to get rid of.
Yep.
So
I'll drink them otherwise. So.
come down, have a burger, chug a few Steve Weisers. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah.
I
Thank
understood some
All
of that
welcome.
sense.
Come down means arrive at the location.
Thank you.
Have a few burgers means to.
That's the bit of the sentence I understood.
Okay, that's what you understand. Chug a few Steve Weisers would mean to drink a couple of beers.
I see.
Okay?
Okay. Okay. On that note, that was episode 15, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Any questions, as normal, just post a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. See you next week. Thank you.
Thanks.
See ya.